You got a movie coming out or something, right?
Yeah, I do. So that was the movie, two separate things, but Africa was 1 month.
You got so much going on.
Yeah, there's all sorts of shit.
I love it, man.
Yeah, so it was out there for a month, but the movie long story short, in 2018, I was hired as a set medic and safety coordinator for this movie called The Big Ben, shot down in Terlingua, Texas. Had a couple really great actors and actresses, young and old, and a full crew. And as the set medic, you're there making sure everyone is safe and hydrated, clearing out snakes and running routes, and just making sure everyone is safe, working LZs. And
it's a full-time gig, man.
Full time.
Especially when you're remote like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I was hired, because having been in that area and dealing in remote sort of wilderness first responder, first aid, triage, that sort of stuff. That's why I was there. The nearest hospital was like just over 2 hours away with like full care. So
you're talking helicopters.
Yeah,
somebody really severely sick. Right?
Something major, helo-borne. There's ground evacs, air, evacs, just case by case. And one of the actresses, Virginia Cole, she was pregnant at the time. So you're dealing with child actors, pregnant actress, and then a couple other actors. So there's a full spectrum of what you need to be able to, address in the event of some sort of emergency. And, something as simple as a cactus thorn or a snake bite or a scorpion or tarantula or just exposure from the sun can result in a lot of issues. So I'm there doing my thing. And then there was one, shot, one scene where the director was, we have a scene, we haven't cast a role. We think it's you that would be perfect for this role. Are you interested? And I was, yeah, I'm sure. Why not?
It's amazing how that happens. Like I was in Fast and Furious 7 for a second.
That's what I mean, man.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I don't know how to drive the Supra.
Supra, that's awesome. But he's like, yeah, you up for it? I'm like, sure. What do I have to say? He goes, well, here's the cool part. We don't have any lines for you, but we want you to say what you would say. And I was like, all right. So he kind of set me up. My character's name was Rio, and these two ladies were coming to me on the side of the Rio Grande, and I was supposed to cover them with mud and kind of give them this, like, the water is a connecting line between this and that, and just all this sort of, it was all this sort of stuff. And then I'm rubbing mud on them, and I'm thinking, God, I hope my mother doesn't watch this. But the kicker was, he's like, I'd love it if you were in like a loincloth. And I'm like, you're talking to this. I mean, I got 3 of them in my truck.
Right.
So I threw on a loincloth, covered myself in mud. And like the opening shot is me spearing fish in this river. So
really?
Yeah. So I'm there. I mean, God, there's probably, if you go to my Instagram, probably way back, you'll probably see some. But the movie's called The Big Ben, and I was in it, so it was kind of fun to like be an active, participant in it. And now it's, I went to all these different film festivals, Austin, Hawaii, Los Angeles, and now it's coming out in theaters, like April 26th in New York for about a week and some change, and then LA, and then in Texas, and then we'll go to like a full, theatrical sort of.
What's kind of the premise behind it? Is it like
It's a really cool story. It's got some survival stuff mixed in there, and it's got these 2 families. It's kind of based on real events from a buddy of mine named Aaron Brown, who runs Onion Creek Productions, and this guy, Brett Wagner. Brett Wagner's the director, and they've been longtime friends, and they used to go down to the Chihuahua, Terlingua, Southern Texas, and kind of link up and kind of spend family time. Similar families, 2 young kids, husband and wife. And there was... in the story, there's an individual that, there it is.
Oh, this is the opening scene?
Yeah, well, that's not the opening scene. That's one of the scenes with me. So that's me standing there, and that's, working the medic, working with crews.
That's cool. What is that car?
So that was...
Is that in the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
This guy over here named on the right, his name is Nick.
Look at that beard, man.
Yeah, his name is Nick Maniscalco. He's out in Hawaii. He's a big wave surfer, and he does a lot of acting out there. He's been in a lot of different TV shows and different stuff, but he got cast in this movie as a convict. He's an escaped convict, And kind of how it plays out, a girl goes missing in the woods or in the desert, and they wind up linking up. She doesn't know he's a convict. And like at first he's thinking like, I can't have her with me. She's going to compromise me. And then they kind of come together, and then they have some interactions with the family and the police and people. And there's all these kind of things going on. That's like one layer of the story. And then there's another layer of the story with the dad who's struggling with a terminal illness. So there's multiple layers and like some pretty wild shots. I mean, there was one time as the set guy, I think he was 12 at the time. This young actor, he's supposed to be shimmying down a cliff, like, you know, an 80-foot, 90-foot cliff, and he's afraid of heights. And like him and I have been making like Paiute deadfalls like in the spare time, just, you know, keeping him occupied. And I have to lower him down this cliff through a rope and harness because I did all the like the rigging for safety anytime there was cliff work. And when you look at this shot, he's got like one hand on the top, but my hand is holding his hand because he would not let go. He was just, you know, he's a young kid. He's nervous. He's going to get suspended.
Especially if you're scared of heights, man. That's a whole nother.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things in the movie. I like to watch it because then I'm like, oh, I remember this. I remember that. There's a scene where like this one guy named David Sullivan's driving down the road and he waves at a buddy and it's me driving in my truck. You know, just fun stuff like that. But
that's awesome.
It's coming out and it's just crazy, you know, the whole movie sequence, shooting it 4 years ago and then it doing its, you know, film festival release and now it's theatrical release. And then before you know it, it's going to wind up going to, you know, Amazon or Netflix, one of those. But yeah,
awesome.
I'm the guy covered in mud.
Hell yeah. Is there a red carpet event or anything going on?
Yeah.
Here's the trailer.
The trailer.
Let's watch it.
That's Jason.
You think we can get away with playing some volume, Maddie? Or?
You ready to give our New Jersey friends a taste of the real Texas?
Those are the kids. You made the trailer, dude. Hell yeah.
You good?
Yeah, I'm fine. GBH, Erica Ash. Shaky Graves scored it.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's nothing like good music in a movie, man.
I cannot lose them both.
This looks badass,
Yeah,
man.
dude.
I'm totally into movies like this because of like I'm a big fan of cinematography.
Oh.
Like so like the aerial shots and
Yeah.
like how you lead into a scene is huge. Like one of my favorite movies of all time is The Black Stallion.
Oh, the
Francis
classic?
Ford
Yeah.
Coppola.
Yeah.
Like I remember that vividly as a kid. Like he would start scenes where it was like a question mark of like, what am I looking at? Like
and it
you didn't really
spans
know.
out,
Yeah,
goes in.
so cool.
The guy that the DP director of photography was the guy that worked on The Revenant. I can't remember his name off the top.
Oh, he
of my
works
head.
on that's a great film.
I mean,
for
this
that. Yeah.
this was a great crew. Everyone top notch. I mean, I was lucky to be in it. I was even more lucky to like be behind the scenes and like running medic and just all the safety stuff. I mean, there was
That's the hardest thing. That's the one reason why I didn't stick in any. Like I've worked on some films, but it's just like the downtime. If you're not like a
yeah. If you're like a PA,
yeah.
you're running coolers.
so yeah.
It was awesome, but like I could tell you after, I think we were there for like 45 days shooting. Like after that 45 days, I was just like, oh man, I'm drained, just totally drained because
Yeah.
it was, you know, 12
Long days.
on, 12 off, you know, and you've got some of the, you know, young production crews. So, you know, when you're off your 12 hours, I want to drink a few beers. And then the next day it's 120 degrees outside. And they're like, you know, Donnie, I'm feeling lightheaded, you know, and working with some of the producers and the director, it was very easy for them. Like, look, you have 100% control over the safety of this crew. If someone looks bad, you flag them for 24 hours. They're not getting paid for that day, but we can't have people, because there's I mean, scorpions, black widows. There's so much hazards out there that some of these actors would walk these lines. Well, keep in mind, there was one other production assistant that I recruited him into like the safety team. I'm like, because he was an Army vet. I'm like, you got me? He's like, I got you. So like we would walk the lines the actors would walk, clearing out anything that could bite, anything that was a sting, a prickle, anything like that. Because, I mean, the two young actors and actresses in this, they were young. I mean,
Yeah.
young. So there's certain rules that they have to abide by as far as their hours filming. And, you know, one of them gets hurt, the whole thing goes down. So it's not like, oh man. So I've got all these kind of considerations, doing medical assessments on everybody. And I told him straight up, I'm like, I don't have any IV. So if any of you guys, and I'm giving it like a safety brief, if anyone wants to drink heavily, you're not getting an IV from me the next day. Like emergency stuff. And
Yeah.
long story short, everyone was safe. No one got hurt. Couple heat cases just because, you know, you get like a guy that's just, you know, working the camera doing this and he stops to take drinks. So I would just tap on people's shoulder, like, drink water now. I need you to drink water. Here's some rehydration tabs. It was just...
But the movie looks badass,
Thanks,
man. I'm
man.
definitely going to check it out. You going to a red carpet deal or anything? You got to go to Hollywood? Or
So I don't know. I did the one at the Austin Film Festival.
Nice.
I was down there with
That's
Nick.
a good city to
Yeah,
go to.
yeah, it was a good
Hang
time. Nick was there, and then I was there with Austin and Brett, the director, and we went in and watched it. And I will, you know, humbly admit, you know, Nick, the long bearded guy, we're good buddies, and we were drinking some beers, and I'm in the premiere watching the movie that I was in for a short period of time, and I just pass out in the back row, you know. And I think Nick's hitting me like, "Wake up, dude!" And he's got his, you know. And I'm like, dude, I'm just tired." And
Yeah.
he's like, "No more." I'm like, "All right." But I think they're going to do a premiere. I was talking with Brett, the director, yesterday, and he said they might be doing a premiere in Boulder or something like that.
Oh,
so
cool.
maybe we'll try and line something up. But I know some of the, you know, the real actors in it, not me, the bush hippie just standing out there, you know, and covered in mud. I think they're going to do a couple appearances and
You're
stuff
the
like
only reason I want to see it. I don't want to hang out with the real actors, dude.
that. Nah, they were good. I got the nickname real quick called Caveman Jesus. That was what it was. Because, like, you know,
Yeah.
you're meeting all of these folks and they're like, who is this guy? And I'm like, hey, I'm going to keep you safe. And they're like, what is going on, you know? And it's me in my truck. And I knew we'd have like some downtime.